Fortwell Solicitors, Emrenimu Kuku Drofo, Sawatna Hache, Ombebwa Mansaka Wonkrata, Naswedi Dronsua, Eyomokokra, Ebani Nipa Sitnemu, any Ejumemun Sembia, Omutimwa Hotanipa, Omre, the many pebia, Nadia Nika Womuponi said, no consultation fee.
Fortwell Solicitors always puts our clients' needs first. We specialize in all UK visa applications, detention and deportation cases, student and work points-based work permit applications from both UK and abroad. Fortwell Solicitors also deals with long residence and human rights applications outside the immigration rules. Don't wait till last minute. Fortwell Solicitors is located at
Unit 1, ground floor, Katrina House, 58 Clarendon Road, London, N80DJ. Nearest tube station, Tempark Lane and Wood Green. Overground, Hornsey Station. Buses, 41 to Archway and 144 to Maswa Hill. For more info, call 0203 3257 030. Call our 24-hour line on 0754 8701 011. Website www.fortwellsolicitors.com.
Opening hours Monday to Friday 9:30 to 5:30 p.m.
Thursday Beyonce Young Milton Keynes.
Fortwell Solicitors is regulated by SRA.
Fortwell Solicitors.
Good morning. Danyame ase said you know and ebinada na ebinada sudra na yede legal our duty eba wa fine so Fortwell Solicitors ebinada bia na ehia no du ebo a na ya hyase ne asori so duba ko bi share level and nti 10 aboy de na utimi se dwumedi na yede hyehyehye so midi edi mama le se de dae no me lawyer Daniel Kwe na pay baba be so wo legal our duty so celebrate on safro mi afre wadamfo ka try me say duty na du so ombra MTV esan say dan dae ba wa kwan so with new discussions said the bia we no ye ba nya be wani enema ekoso ne sese wo ye na ni nyina mu no ebre ema ye ho kwan ema ye bie front lines ne tum said the bia wa wo hwe wa wo tie wo so betimi afre na we busa wo question and I say discussion na ye tire ye bia e chiro so no betimi afre na obisa ebre se mi so me the lawyer number ebetu dwa se opese o contact no and I say kuhu photo for omo asoe ya with the office line on the mobile number betimi arechi omu nyina ebetu dwa edi amount said the bia obetimi a contact wo mu na omo etimi aboa wo na ebre se mi so me be lines na to say dem di kan no ene ya baba be di nkomo said the onim say osumi bia so emu nsem bebre ene di etri enche bia na ye baba be wura eye osumi foforo a ye nyina nim say October ye baba be gbegbe na changes bi apiepie na no na ye baba di hu nkomo lawyer wa odi ebe rewrem na wa cheche ni nyina ani so se ekwan a ofaso a wo tumi se odi ye adwuma no ehun sachaye bi 1st of October ya no ba be sesan ani ade na tese wo soso a wonam kwan pa soso anya adwuma anase woni hu ye ma anya adwuma ni nyina no ehun cheye bi e wo bia no soso no ye no ba be di nkomo na wo hu how a obesidi wanamo ebesisi ye se bi nyina anim no obi man so emetie nu nsem pekesen to nsafra wunia wo Facebook na wo share mo akwaba like video na share efa emaye na obi susu entimi ensua bi ebre no ekọ emiti sabe mpe malo ya akwaba na ye di dwedi na hyehye so wa studio ha de abo 10:08 na me malo ya akwaba lawyer good morning acho ho ye minti wo nkan
Chelsea si Atimenka.
afi di abapa
All right. This Atimenka.
If I tell me to nkan atime de
Eba kakra. Yes, all form but eba.
sao
Okay, yeah, I'm saying yeah, man. Yeah. Insume dear no. Okay, maybe AC.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, for now or move nipa we even say one follow ye the omunimu but be an any that will be a shame.
Yo, me da si bebre your friend lawyer that you call me fee Fortwell Solicitors. Fortwell Solicitors you were based in North London. immigration law, family law, employment law, wills and probate, and then we also do mental capacity in employment matters. Say, and then I would hear for the first time, one of the solicitors, Fortwell Solicitors from every Thursday, you call Milton Keynes into the mom would hear also happen to one person who will hear, and so we are one of the few lawyers. We don't charge for consultation. Into Nasembia will be a issue, be our documents, be our person, na no. You are more than welcome. Say, book your appointments now. Wabehue na yahwemu amount. Na I'm say anopa we dear ichia ubia. So I'm joining yedamase.
Yo, yeah, that's a lawyer. I won't show my dear man. Tebusia, after what who be a lawyer, yeah, the poor assembly medical broker, so the actual lawyer. A dear baby Bramuna, what me I may near a tree lawyer. Eddie assembly prince, the minimum said, the people of Harper's or the chassis free, and now say a topic yana. Yes, shed ya, I say a dear free. So I say, yes,
oh, there have been a few changes regarding good character requirements. Home Office for making announcements. Say their name, previously, say, say, we naturalization application. Share good character now. They consider whether say with Embraso regarding immigration rules at any point in time within the last 10 years. In Tinona, there was a situation whereby a microphobia or honoma or say oba hana oni and krata. Then eventually obenya and krata na area say okoji 2.5 years, copy maybe at 10 years and sana winyane in krata. Obi ohono so the lawyer beka say brana yen switch o enko 5-year route and so instead they say obe call 4 times and so now we are indefinite after 2-3 times financial say with me I qualify for the indefinite we're gonna win the indefinite quite quickly indefinite all right. The next step for most people they say they will move on and get a friend naturalization now or they are a British book. But the Rebecca Chen said, well, because now only and krata for within the last 10 years, and yeah, they're possible. So a good character requirement in the real. It seems changes were honomo kakra. At the moment, we are looking at 5 years. If within the last 5 years, the only issue I want to illegal migration as a overstayer issue being a over ombetimi ebu omeni egu so ama for any applications over here for naturalization. This is something that we believe say a good news for many people because of you all on tier program way because of Felisa on the CCR and Ninsaka and Krata, but Ninsaka and Krata and Ninsanyanka and Red Book. Yeah, now this year Crampody, Ubeka say a blue book. This year Ninsaka and blue book. Yeah, it is very, very important or very good to say these changes are coming in and people who want to take advantage say who are indefinite that you are thinking is naturalization. Because of something, this will be the best time and as a best opportunity, say, only lawyer be discuss, na wahwemu amount. Now, going to a topic, you say, you discuss, in say, time a pandemic, here, that was March 2020, If you can see move for a try, say, more be make inyama flexible, a lot of employers. Na say open say pay a juma na way for we for any person on we right to work checker. They did not necessarily have to see your face. Omutimi a video call na omahwe winim na just say omahwe passport and as a biometric card what they call it didn't have to be in person checking and it didn't have to be manual checking. Now over after pandemic, our policy way almost extended so many times. But flexible way of conducting such checks, will finally come to an end on the 30th of September, which is just a few days from now, but versus 3 days from now, until from 1st of October. Say, pay juma and as employers per se, almost check it or enkrata. they cannot do it virtually anymore. They cannot do it online anymore. They have brought up 3 ways our employers able to me I check it or right to work say. One of them a in-person check using original documents. Internet say okay compare ejuma baby. Wo employer no need to make sure say we who wo ankasa we who we nim we share o passport no and as a biometric card no we share the physical documents na no. That is one of the ways wo employer everything I verify or right to work The second way wo employer betimi I check no using home office online checking service. This year you need say if you can say move for another we ejuma oko ejuma omo bibi a friend share code. Put me a share code with your employer. The employer goes online, check it. They will send details and information, including your picture, to your employer no to confirm say nipa na opese oye ejuma no onu nie n'anim nie enye any other person bia na say obi nkrata na odi eye ejuma ewo ho. That is the second way employers ebetimi a checking nkrofo right to work ewo Chrome has say. Then the final way betimi use using identification document validation technology and as an identity check with IDVT technology. Your apps bi wo honoma etimi ebi wo honoma so kwa be bank accounts or companies bi to say Monzo. Yen kan cho say bra bank na fa wo ID ebekre. Ubo hu say ye beka say bi atwa video winning video na fe twa biometric card no na farm and then they will do a verification into that technology. Companies can use that one to also verify your true identity to perform all the facts say right to work Chrome has say. Now employers so what you need to know is say if they are performing the right to work Chrome has say one there are more guidance and as a guidelines they need to follow for it to be successful and as for them to be able to defend themselves in case who say na with the ma or mono correct. For instance, they need to see you individually, face to face. Untimi ko share corner bi na unka say when agency you or online. Until the documents are more and there's all more with Juma. The employer is supposed to see you face to face and check the original documents by themselves. And after that, say or year photocopy, colored photocopy. Now okipi as evidence. One yes idea we are, it is going to be a problem. More list of documents and list of documents that they need to verify and I said they need to check or use. For instance, a passport. Say nipa no a British national. Now say what the passport and no pay enough. Of course, there are nkrofobia honoma omunni passport and kasa into abiana or birth certificate and as a or adoption certificate via man UK has say. If that is the case, that will be acceptable at that stage. But obviously, they will need to do further checks because birth certificates in alone any proof of ID or picture any birth certificates. So the Home Office will and as the individual will need to do further checks. For instance, so check with Home Office birth certificate we are winning is it enough and but of course it is allowed say we use birth certificate and try say or the budget documents. Any immigration status document which has been issued by the Home Office so everything I acceptable. Now saying you can see say they are more vagueness and I say visa for now DNA ebo passport na enkrofo are a bit reluctant to accept it but of course they are allowed to or they are supposed to accept it. Obviously they need to do further checks if need be. There are some documents being so honoma betimi use and also betimi the actual employers. For instance, certificate of application. Certificate of application, you were digital, you were non-digital ones. Digital ones, a year if you honoma application at Home Office. Now you send the email with your certificate of application abroad. That alone is enough. You should be able to show it to a potential employer or to show it to your employer and you're supposed to be able to allow to work. Furthermore, no, so no, says the amount paper one also and also acceptable. The only problem they say it only give you limited excuse up to 6 months. Internet here the document in the amount. Now you give it to your employer. Don't assume say what their man or no. After 6 months, your employer should not come back to you again to check again. Until the employer may have ways so back to come and check say what is happening after the 6 months, because that document now the amount is only valid for 6 months. Now saying who say certificate of application, they have not written the validity of the way say valid for only 6 months. But you need to understand say it only gives the employer a limited excuse for 6 months. Until after 6 months, you will need to get another verification, another document. Into the and only something that you need to be aware of. Say before 6 months, Obama Nipana or Boa application, ever requested for new certificates. And as I said, one person soon we will be requested for new certificates so that it does not lead to a situation where you'll be dismissed from your employment. We also have a Grofa Omu application registration card by the Home Office stating say that holder is permitted to take employment together with positive verification notice. Basically, ebi mu hɔ noma ɔmo kɔyɛ asylum claim. Now say okoye asylum claim na yɛ ma saa card no yɛ de ma asylum claimants. Nti no hwɛ ni atwerɛ ARC ɛwɔ card no so, and now say application registration card near the amount initially, whilst the Home Office tried to consider your asylum claim. Ebimudia will allow them to work, Ebimudia will not allow them to work. You need to check that. And you'll be there in a man who say, Otimi ye ejuma ewo krom ha say. If nyame ye wadom na etimi ma okwan ema wo ye ejuma ewo krom ha say, now the koye, now the kope ejuma. The employer will need to add a positive verification notice in order to have a reasonable excuse. Without that positive verification notice, that employer do not have any excuse, and that employer may have challenges and issues going forward. It's something that people need to be aware of. It's important, say, workers now pay. We know all these things, so that when we are going to look for work, now the employer is asking you something which is not within the rules. You can specifically tell the person, say, oh, wait, can one say wait and come. It is also important to note, say, EA National, since 1st July 2021, also it will be important for them, say, so pay Juma, day document echo. Say, pay a Juma, and some document echo. The fact that what they will EU passports are pen and yet enough. Say, what they either pre-settled status and as a settled status document in account. Now we have shared code Emma will employer and also verify. Of course, there are few people are almost Irish citizens. With the Irish citizens,
hold on for me. Pacho friend no Mr. Why you be phone lines into Muntin Mr. Why and be a baby to me now of your friend. That's yeah.
Yo, omukra Irish citizenship and also ometimi the Irish passports pay and they pay a juma without any problems. With them, they don't necessarily need separate settled status, resettled status document, for them to go and use it to work into omu issues. Then we have from frontier workers. Frontier workers, amount for almost EU national, okay, but then they go back into let's talk about coach drivers, let's talk about truck drivers. Yeah, they come in and then they go out. Almost so they have a particular residence card. I actual frontier worker also they need to be able to show in order for them to work. These are some of the things that people need to be aware of. So from 1st of October, things will be very, very difficult for people. They'll be looking at a lot of factors and sana oma yede oma hwe nkrofo anas oma ma nkrofo eho kwan ama omo aye ejuma ewo krom ha say. Going forward, we need to understand say there are a number of questions nkrofo may have because obviously CSA Fawebra is something that you need to be able to see say ade a ye bisa me ne kwan so and I say enye ne kwan so into the people need to get the way what is required well na oma prepare. For instance, obi wo honom a okọ ejuma okope ejuma okra ne certificate of application okoye no ejuma ne yamfa no is it right say that employer did not accept it and I said did they accept it? It's something, a question that I keep on hearing a lot, and I say an issue that I get quite frequently with a lot of people and then no me per se you be discussing say ukoye application, okay, ako wo employer ho na certificate of application pe na owa. The reason why some employers will struggle to accept it, is the fact that a year limited to only 6 months. Okay. Until let's say bia obi a year advert, say or per se offer obi ewo ne jumem. Now oba no nipa na offer no permanently. Or per se nipa be a juma man for long term. Meanwhile, no documents now with their ban valid for only 6 months. That employer may be reluctant, or that employer may think, say, Jumana Obabe Fowl, he doesn't have job security into the ABA not one foul. And that might be the reason why the person might not pick you at that employment place. And yet necessarily say you are not entitled to work over there. No. But because of that issue, into ABA not unacceptable or we also have situations whereby you see say nipa no afa a wuye ejuma ewo ho wa ma say ebia 3 months time 6 months time onkrata eba bewu onkrata ne eba bewu no they will give you notice say ebia in 6 months time onkrata ne ebewu until prepare nafa documents and as for evidence it just say what do application atum FI bra. The issue is you cannot make an application earlier than 28 days before Onkrata and Ibewu, especially Omomukra 2.5 years under 5-year route. Untimi enka say, straight away, because I application, we're not time and soon. Because okay, application earlier than the time you're supposed to make that application. What will happen is say, do time I say, we application for indefinite leave to remain. Now what like there's a shortfall, and then you are not able to do that application for indefinite leave to remain. It is important say whatever you do, you get it done at the right time. The question is, because on your application in time. The answer is no. Technically speaking, no. And son will employer be cultural say the ideal thing for the employer to do, they say, obey verification with the home office, whether say you are eligible to work or you are not eligible to work. Intino verification, just email documents, you go online, the home office website, you can put a few details in there, submit it, and then the home office will get back to the employer with a positive or negative verification notice. Positive verification notice means say you are permitted to work for the next 6 months without any issue. Negative means say new application and to me. When they ask you those questions, tell them say Mr. Me nyamfa my application into me. And then my lawyer kasa or 70 for application into more than 28 days before I bill, because if I do that, it may affect the time that I have to apply for my indefinite leave to remain. So I can't say affect time application for indefinite leave to remain. I need to take my time to explain how it can affect you. Say ABA or 5-year route, okay, to indefinite leave to remain. What that means, they said every 2.5 years, it's all called 2.5 years full. Okay, into the OJ first 2.5 years, then you get another 2.5 years. The expectation is said the second 2.5 years will take you to 5 years, which means you say at that time you will qualify for indefinite leave to remain. If 1 year application earlier than the 28 days, that decision ever and tema, what can technically happen is ube say one kratani be for your second 2.5 years. Now akabe 2, 3, 4 months, and sana we do 5 years. Do you understand? So we hear application for indefinite leave to remain. Yeah, farmer. But so we hear another application for another 2.5 years that will buy you time for that shortfall of 3 months and as a 5 months. Meaning also AAC Kasem. This is application and that form with your IHS fees, which is about £1,560. With your home office fees, which is about £1,048. So it's a lot of money. For you to just make an application to cover 3-4 months, not just what to seek so it's very, very important to be able to time the submission date, properly. And yes, it is even now more important because in Crawford are almost starting say 2.5 years from 2012. Say 2.5 years, mainly started in 2012. Most of them are more 10 years as in 2022. Into the now, they qualify for indefinite leave to remain. Into the Uyo Obi Awo 2.5 years from that time, that's the time I saw our application for indefinite leave to remain. You need to pursue or look at all these things because one here, what may happen is so we hear application for indefinite leave to remain, which you are supposed to pay over £2,300 for application for indefinite leave to remain, and you don't qualify for indefinite leave to remain. Home Office 4 will write back to you and tell you say you don't qualify for indefinite leave to remain, but you qualify for further leave to remain because Ebiaka 2 or 3, 4 months. Into the 2,300 now for indefinite leave to remain. Sambe to IHS. £1,560 eka 2,300 million. Omun kan cho say oh fasikane brow na tia we crowd they will take the extra money from you. This is what is going to happen. We need to be careful when doing all these things. The question back also people will tell you say okay. Say does an employee who has lost their right to work in the UK remain entitled to statutory maternity pay? This is a serious question because remember, say bia okoye application for maternity pay and I say wafa yefunu the time as oko maternity. Now before I will be kono bia one share and for application and ko 2 months term. Emma bia positive verification and back from verification about negative. Be affecting any right of statutory maternity pay that you may be entitled to because there's been a gap. At that time, as you catch with your they do P45 ML, which therefore means you may not be entitled to a maternity pay from your employer. You may go to a job seekers allowance and as a DWP to go and take some maternity allowance from them, but your employer may not be we say also the maternity. A month for they need to be they are in that position. They be a mechanical for say very, very, very important. Say you keep up to date with the documents that have been given to you. I.e., OBRP the amount and our residence card the amount all the time to make sure say you have it so that these things cannot affect you. Obis worker said, who is responsible for conducting right to work checks if a worker is employed by a group of company? Say okoye ejuma ama group of company. Ebi ohonuma company no more different aspects of it. Let's say nipa no ye ejuma ema Lewisham Council. Within Lewisham Council, they have a sub schools, different schools within the council. One of the schools have employed you on no mama contract, but your salary may be coming from the council. Who has to do that way, checks, whoever is paying you the money, whoever is giving you the pay slip, have a right to do the checks on your behalf. And yet, the individual that need to do it. That is something that you need to be aware of. Normally, they will ask you for the shared code. Shared code, over to me, I check it. One thing I have realized lately is a lot of people seem to be struggling to share their code with their employers. And also a big headache Emma in Crawford brain. At the internet in Crawford struggle to share their code with their employers. Either they do not remember the email or phone number that they used to do their original application. It's very, very important. Any application be obey and side information, you will keep it with you because it may be relevant anytime open say we have shared code. And the type of ID that you use for the application also, you need to have that stored because obi honoma why year a be na our continent and obey a pre-settled status and as obey a settled status. So we are not sound call back. Into no side information in your no win keep. Then now no back out person juma. Anytime the person or your shared code and that person is struggling. Me person nipa na wow yes application. Go back to that person. Let the person retrieve the information for you, and then you'll be able to use that one to do your shared code for your player to verify. Say utimi eye ejuma and I say untimi enye ejuma. Obi ohonoma why ye ne interview or phone so why any BBI a fan with ejuma. No akwa ejuma on the first day or start ejuma no. Now the employer say they want to conduct right to work check on the first day of work. Is it something that it's allowed? Yes, it is allowed. Obi on my wire verification over the phone or see, oh, we're happy with you for you to work and all that. So we call ABI or virtual verification over the phone. Yeah, another virtual verification because we are interviewed one back office there. When you start work that day now starting ejumano, that employer have a right to do manual verification, the right to check work. That is something that you need to be aware of. And then obviously, how long should an employer keep copies of right to work checks for? And are there any data protection issues with this? And normally, no employer may keep your record for up to 3 years after you've left the employment. Employer wako enipa wako ye ejuma amano have every right say obey keep piece our document even after you've left the employment for up to 3 years. After that, he has every right say obey destroy that document according to data protection laws at Ewokrum has say. After 3 years, they don't really have a right to say obetimi ekipi sawe for that long period of time. Video call and as a video virtual one, I think that we've talked about it. Currently, you can do that, but say they can, after 1st October, and no, you trim if you know. Obi so question Obi say, I said, does an employer need to conduct right to work check on an employee who has worked for the company since 1997? Yes, employer debate me aye verification because say wakoye ejuma ama one company for a very long time. Now at the moment, in Yama a movie owner, the employer may want to check say what is happening currently. Until you want honoma or my year ejuma so many years or honoma or say a lawyer yabe frame say me from Yaman Brown. Could it be say omehu bibi intina omo bisa sa nana? It is possible, but say they are the way they kept record previously may have changed, and according to the rules and now also, as an employer you need to be checking on these things and keeping it because while we employer and so one check it na assemble be back nipa no or old vignet or the passport or old document, old immigration status be na a trim na se nipa na nyon one kasa na sure you can be fined £20,000. No employer wants to pay that £20,000 for employing an illegal migrant. It's very, very important for us to also appreciate what employers need to go through to be able to get these things done. Obisubisa said, can certified copy of UK birth certificate sufficient to prove right to work in the UK? And now, a tricky question. A birth certificate, certified copy, a year certified by the registrar. Who say the can certified copy? Who wait till they will birth certificate? They come or lawyer say on your photocopy on certified amount. Who wait till so at the accord registry on will say me whom a birth certificate can they get me another one? The answer is yes. Say GFE registry or not a certified copy from the registry that may be acceptable. Wait till me a use and no idea. But it's very, very important. Say the employer will do further verification. Or use our online verification to get your a letter from the Home Office say, "Oh, my checking system, no, so Nipa we British, and as a Nipa we is entitled to work in the UK, and yes, sir, waiting me any issues." Then we have students, international students. Omo Krum has say, omo pese omo ye ejuma. Normally, no, international students are permitted to work in the UK without any problems. However, there are restrictions about the number of hours that they can work. Into say share or biometric card na ye they will write on it say they are restricted to work 20 hours during term time. Okay. Into during term time, say ye be a school, say they are September, ye be a school. Who will cross student visa e will has say you are not entitled to work beyond 20 hours during term time. You can work less than that. That is not a problem. But you're not quite so 100 hours, grandpa. And Rama who quite over 100 hours. So you can do that. But you cannot do that during term time. And these things, the employer need to be aware of it. The employer need to comply. The employer needs to even say, oh, more than that. It doesn't matter how many or how much you are being paid for that 20 hours. And also, it's something that people need to be aware of. Say the employer can choose to pay you 100,000 for 20 hours a week. It's not a problem. Okay. The problem is the number of hours that you are expected to work, which is the issue. People need to be aware of that and then make sure say they comply accordingly. And yes, I problem. We also see, and I say we also realize sometimes people think when they are being asked right to work in Yamana, there's issue to do with the breach of Equality Act 2010. Basically, because me be binti now se ben confirm krata embra because me madam for broni de binti say nga say aka so confirm krata embra any ade. So people might say their racism be you need to understand say the laws allow these things to go on. Into the employer may not necessarily be breaching the Equality Act if they ask you to go and bring your document. What may be breaching the Equality Act is say ebia uye juma they have requested for it. You've explained to them that you need to make the application within the last 28 days of Fonkrata. Within the last 28 days, so all the application act to accordingly. Now still, we employer verification will be not equal to fee. So there's a thin line between being racist or breaching the Equality Act and then following the rules or the right to work rules as it has been stated. And that one question that excites a lot of people to say, can an employer continue to employ a person with leave to remain under Appendix FM when they know their relationship as a spouse or partner British has been broken down? Ebia wakoware British ni. Wakoware obi okra indefinite leave to remain. Wo hono no unim say wo employee na nipa na oye ejuma wa wari obi, but all of a sudden oni nipa na ejai. Wo as an employer no, are you allowed say over stopping it from working? And yet your duty as an employer to go and fifi mu say ade na nipa na wa wari no ne nti biomi ade nti no okwa ko fifi mu. Nti the employer should not be telling you say, oh, because only jai and as a ukunu a jai, so jai ejuma there be. It shouldn't happen that way. That is something that I will explain, and as I will tell people, say if you encounter that problem, you need to speak to your lawyer. The good thing about working with us at Fortwell Solicitors is we don't just deal with immigration matters. See the discussion here you're having, you can clearly see say there's a relationship between employment matters and then immigration. So, and this is how things are interlinked. You may be thinking, say you are dealing with an immigration matter, but the employer may be breaching employment rules, which therefore means that you can bring a claim. Obi ohonoma oye juma man employer for 2 years, 3 years. The application so into the application for ACO 2. The employer may be all the application so see your there to fee till self verification notice meanwhile you are not being paid, so you are losing money. This may equate to discrimination. under the Equality Act, which you can bring a claim under employment law. We can look at all these things on behalf of clients. We can look at the link between employment matters and then immigration matters and see how we can advise people. For so long, so many years, so many months, whilst they are waiting their documents, which should not have happened. Now your application be grandpa but because of his status, the way it's now you're discriminating against that person. All these things are things that we can look at and advise you accordingly on what you need to do to get things done properly. I believe, say, your listeners, so any one person so may have a few questions that you want to ask. At this stage, the more also maybe start questions.
Thank you very much, lawyer. Ewo intrima wo dia my ebusia iga awo dwumedi e na wasibu so awuti. Sa na ye no epna de biara. Na sabre dru dia na ye bibie phone lines no atumu ama wa wo hwe ye wo tie ye wo so watimi abusa o question bi a opese ubisa lawyer. Anything no sabre me the phone lines no be tu dwa dia ma o say opese ofre lawyer na obisa questions bia to say the wakyerɛkyerɛ mu yi a wobɛtumi abisa anaasɛ wɔawɔ question bi na yɛ quick one so ɔyɛ ana mema ho kwan sɛ ɔbɛfrɛ na ɔbisa lawyer ɛno nti ne studio lines no ɛyɛ 0203 735 8820 0203 735 8820 anaasɛ frɛ me mobile ɛso 0778 793 9958 wobɛtumi ama me call de afa number nsi a mede ato dwa yi mu bia ɛso anaasɛ wobɛtumi atɛksi de aba mobile no so meredi ama lawyer ɛyi ano de ama wohwɛ yɛ wo facebook a wobɛtumi de wo question no ato hɔ no mo meredi sɛdeɛ nana bɛlɛ na ayɛ no meredi ama lawyer ɛyi ano fɛfɛɛfɛ de ama yɛ nti saa bere lines no na yɛbi ato mu ne ɛsi so bie mu one more time de ama wo sɛ frɛ 0203 735 8820 anaasɛ mobile 0778 793 9958 ɛfa wo question ɛbra lawyer o kasaeɛ mu no medi kan ɛbisa saa question ansa na meredi nkurɔfoɔ so question na anaasɛ ɔmo kɔɔ sɛ ɛba no so de ama wo kasaeɛ mu no for obi for ɛyɛ certificate of application deɛ ɔde akɔpɛ adwuma na yɛn specify say 6 months na on your hɔnom adwumafoɔ no ɛmba ne nkyɛn na ebisa biribi a ɛsɛ sɛ still a ɔha ne ho anaasɛ ɛsɛ oyi n'ani how does it work?
Mpacho, repeat your question, Emma, maybe more.
Sɛ obi a ɔkɔpɛ adwuma with certificate of application yafa no later no mu yɛantwerɛ sɛ 6 months or whatever but then ɔde akɔ yafa no adwuma no mu ɛsɛ sɛ ɔno kɔ back to n'adwuma mufoɔ no anaasɛ adwumafoɔ no nka ɛmma ne hɔ a ɔngyae biribiara ma ne nyɛ sɛ deɛ ɛte no anaasɛ ɛsɛ ɔkɔ back na ɔkɔyɛ biribi fa ho how does it work?
You see, say we mama like question that will be some. We tell people say you need to be honest all the time, okay, and do the right thing all the time. It can happen say a biana will employer no and ni aboso, ni apaso, and I say the employer no does not have proper HR systems in place, which will detect say oh nipa we the krata now the buyer no. Aso ntino ebe prompt no. We have a lot of small businesses that only use manual verification. Oba na oye photocopy no we are no actual no or they are too, but on come back and question. The problem that means say if you can see for back on that employer will be in trouble. That employer will be fined £20,000 because he failed to verify your work status. Wo a wo hodom na wo ye ejuma obviously also pay ejuma wo sika wo bibie di nti you are quiet na wo ye ejuma no any problem however say 6 months certificate of application so it is your responsibility say be requested for new certificate of application either say be requested for a new one and come and show it to the employer and also be requested for a new one and put it down. Say, all the 2 honum na say he want home office back honum crown that employer can send it to them anytime and that person will not be fined that 20,000 a year can asemono. That is what needs to happen. But obi o honuma na application na or ye de call 2 mono ajigon achianity ono ankasa no ostro so be grandpa na onim say he doesn't have the right to work but because he encash into na audit. What you need to understand is that it is only a matter of time before a bia dako or man yabe pow and I see yabe fro and I said they are some they come. I know stories of people who have worked in companies a do time I say omukache and say unkrata ne wu and I say bibi no. Nipa no ha ni afre home office for. Oka you see a meeting bra. Na ya twe omo e de omoko. So you need to be careful. So why do that? We need that.
You may ask the lawyer and you're not a SMP. I mean, another question. So, say hi, Mama Len. My question is I'm on 5-year parent route and I was issued in 12th of February 2018. When am I due my indefinite leave to remain? Is it on the 12th of February 2022? And then when can I put in application? Or also, so no question on the lawyer.
Say or see the first one yeah demand 2018.
Yeah.
So yeah demand 2018 as our 10-year route no swa. Then we are talking about 2028.
Okay.
Okay. And the dates now or the buy and the patch always be repeated your man.
I also issue first issue and it was 12th of February 2018. And
Okay, so
and now okay say okay, when am I due my indefinite leave to remain? Is it on the 12th of February 2022? After a person who say, when can I put in an application? I don't know whether it's clear now.
yeah, Belinda say, "Obetimi Frank Ebemide." The reason why I'm a person of friend say I need to get clarification. Say, Uj will first 2.5 years in 2018. Did you go on to switch to 5-year routes,
Okay.
or you are on 10-year routes? Because if you're on 10-year route, then the earliest Ubenya will indefinite, a year 12 February 2028. Okay, not 2022.
Okay.
Say we unyawo first one 2018. So what switch it called 5-year route. I need to know the date I will switch it called 5-year route, because 5 years will be counted from the first 2.5 years now at the time of switching. This is the reason why we advise people say wunya with 2.5 years under 10-year route. Now open say wunya will indefinite leave to remain in tema. Ben train as say me train ama me first 2.5 years in ewu and say ma ko hu lawyer no was switch ama me. Unya with 2.5 years, after first 6 months, and I say after unya first job, I will earning more than 18,600 a year, which works out about £1,500 a month. Unya will pay slips for 6 months, but gonna call lawyer ho. I catch a lawyer and they say, but your boy, switching from 10-year route to the 5-year route because there are so many people saying they get in touch and they wish said they had switched earlier because they 10 years in a mom they piano could 3,000 3,500 and they regret it until they say if this is the first time you are getting with 2.5 years and a 10-year route I mean so being entry trend so Emma will that regret after 7 years and after 6 years into I will send a message and I need to know when you switched for me to advise you on the exact date I will be qualified for indefinite leave to remain.
Okay. Wait, so if we Edward or say about certificate of application, na or person who says na dwuma mu for no entimi nkɔ check code no ɛma ɔmo and like I upgrade you hɔ
Na adwumafoɔ no ntumi wokura certificate of application and ɛnyɛ necessarily share code na wobɛyɛ. So wokura certificate of application we call it ECS check. Nti no ɛno no ɛyɛ different from using the shared code system. No shared code ne yɛ obi a okura biometric card. Okay, or person or share the code with the employer to verify the eligibility to work. But obia okra certificate of application, the employer be ECS check. They will put a few details there, and then the home office will confirm say who positive verification and I say who negative verification. So that is the difference between obia okra certificate of application and the obia okra biometric card.
Okay. Wait, Kofi, a question our person who say, sir, sponsorship we say, nipa ne do ba after 6 months and now say, last time I'm saying discussing now say after 6 months no nyɛ sponsor no responsibility sɛ ɔbɛdi w'akyi anaasɛ sɛ woyera a ɔno pɛ sɛ ohu sɛ after 6 months no wo na wo bia woafiri wo sponsor no nsɛm no what happens to you wo nso bɛkyerɛ wo anaasɛ ɛdɛn na wobɛyɛ.
Let me clarify this question because it's very, very important so people don't get it wrong. Say yeka say Oba Krum has saying now after 6 months you don't fall under the responsibility of your sponsor now. We are talking about Nkrofo a omode scale up visa ediaba. Not settled, not skilled worker visa. Very important. In any healthcare worker visa. And also you're different.
Okay.
There was healthcare worker visa, there was skilled worker visa, and there was scale up visa. Scale up visa, no, a year specific companies they are doing so well. And for that reason, they have written or they've gone to the Home Office to upgrade their sponsorship license from the normal sponsorship license to the one that they are able to sponsor scale up workers. Okay. Say if visa na what the back room has saying a scale up visa and quadia, then after 6 months, you can go on and look for other work. It doesn't matter where you do you don't fall under the responsibility of scale up sponsor. No. So to me, I will very much doubt say Indiana or send us a question already we need a scale up visa already because this is a new scheme that have just started. Omobenya services na abano will probably start from this month and then going to next month. Going but a more flexible.
Okay.
So what you say, more flexible. They expect say because remember say okay in discussion I have a few weeks ago. No? With the skill up visa, no, the salary is in the region of 31,000.
Okay.
And you obiake the man sebi you man skill up visa. They expect the people who are coming up with skill up visa no, are highly skilled individuals who will be able to say, okay, say, the next time we another job to work with. They are giving them that flexibility. Even if a few on some crown part, that person can go on to work as self-employed. That is how good the process is. Anybody who wants to come in with skill up visa or who needs more details and information regarding the skill up visa, I advise the person on getting in touch.
Okay. Abusua time no na lawyer me pa to bibi ani ho abetwa etuama ya na person kan sana sorry
I think say the questions and answer the issues surrounding right to work checks any illegal working very enormous. And also we were not able to explore all areas, especially how job adverts need to be done and all those information that we need to give to employers, potential employers near there. So what people need to understand is that we at Fortwell Solicitors are happy or in a position to advise potential employers. Instead of say, oh, a business now say you want to employ people and you want to make sure say you are compliant, you will not have problems with the efficacy with all these fines that you can seminar. We can assist your organization, draft documents, get your policies in place so that you don't fall foul of the law. Instead, this is the services that we provide to businesses. Then when it comes to employees and as a migrant workers they're having difficulties with their employers, i.e. I catch up someone go to fear because you wrong negative ECS verification and now go to fear because I can't 3 months I'm a and they haven't submitted an application in time. We can also advise you on your rights as an employee in the UK. So were you dismissed rights? Was there any wrongful deduction of your pay because that period may be. So we provide services to businesses, we provide services to employees, okay, and even businesses who have taken over from other businesses. And I say a friend be said to pay transfers. When you take over a different company, how do you transition the people that you meet there to your team? How do you go about right to work checks? These are things that we can advise employers and employees on their rights so that nobody falls foul of the law. I believe that we've done a good job by doing what we can do with a short time at your one Of course, the consultation is free. Anybody who has further questions, they can get in touch for the program.
Me patch off Fortwell Solicitors for 0203-325-7030, 0203-325-7030, and I say mobile 07944976161, 07944976161. Na ɛboa bi a wohia bi a wɔn atumi aboa ɛwɔ ɛyɛ saa kwan no ɛso yɛde aseda bebree bɛma obi bi ada ne da yɛba a wohwɛ yɛn na wotie program yi nyame yɛ adom a na wɔtwe sɛ ne wɔde yɛn mpakyɛ yɛ a yɛbɛsa aba ne aba abɛso wɔ dwumadie ɛso ebiem bɔbɔden a sɛ wobɛkɔ ɛyɛ Fortwell Solicitors foɔ wɔn aso yɛyɛ na ɔhaw biara a ɛkyerɛ wo so no wɔn a wɔn akɔ akɔtena ase na wɔn atumi aboa wo ɛwɔ ɛyɛ saa kwan no so da biara yɛabɔ ne dahura a lɔya akora kasa no odi kan sɛ ɔmo nko ara ne lawyers a ɔmo ɛncharge initial consultation ɛno nti na ɔmo ne wo a mɛfa ɛyɛ saa ɛkwan no so na mede abuki appointment makɔ akɔ akɔhu wɔn na mehaw biara no mene wɔn adiscuss na wɔn atumi aboa me ɛwɔ ɛyɛ saa kwan no so nti no fa number ne biem wɔn nsa bi a mekɛn so no bi a wɔbɛfi sɛ ma no content mu a etwa gu ɛwɔ screen no so ɛno nti ne nyinaa no wobɛtumi afa ɛso ɛde ɛfiri hɔ nom nti number no ɛyɛ 0203-325-7030, 0203-325-7030, and that's 07944-976161, 07944-976161. Na ɛno nso so wafrɛ wɔn fɛfɛɛfɛ na mmoa bi a wohia bi ano wɔn etimi aboa wo. Kan ho sɛ ɛbɛnada bi a ɛna yɛba wɔ akwan so no ndubɔ pɛ 10 ne ahyɛ aseɛ ne asɔre so 11 ɛno nti nyame yɛ adom a yɛbɛsa aba ne aba bɛso kan ho sɛ wɔntumi antie so a wobɛtumi akɔ ɛyɛ GN radio website wɔ na akɔ akɔbɔ ɛyɛ video yi na wɔsɛ atie ne nyinaa na wɔafa afutuo de afiri meeting de mama lɛn mene lawyer Daniel Kwe ɛna ɛne yɛba bɛso nyame yɛ adom a yɛbɛhyia lawyer thank you so much yɛbɛhyia ebiem
That's bebree. Thank you very much. Bye
bye.
Yo, Ghana for your English approach my muha. Ya sweady. Yenya emranimfo a wen akwadare wo emranimu a poto kasemu ye kase a lawyer for entimini anoma mumiyemfa ye immigration ensem nyina enko dan wo mo Fortwell Solicitors emranimu akukudro for se watna ha che ombeboa wo ma wonsa kan wo krata na se wedi edro nso a eyo mo kokokra eba ne nipa setena mu eni adwuma mu nsem bia omudim akotene pa omo wo mre di mani pa bia na de enika wo mu poni se no consultation fee.
Fortwell Solicitors always puts our clients' needs first. We specialize in all UK visa applications, detention and deportation cases, student and work points-based work permit applications from both UK and abroad. Fortwell Solicitors also deals with long residence and human rights applications outside the immigration rules. Don't wait till last minute. Fortwell Solicitors is located at
Unit 1, ground floor, Katrina House, 58 Clarendon Road, London, N80DJ. Nearest tube station, Tempark Lane and Wood Green. Overground, Hornsey Station. Buses, 41 to Archway and 144 to Maswa Hill. For more info, call 0203 3257 030. Call our 24-hour line on 0754 8701 011. Website www.fortwellsolicitors.com.
Opening hours Monday to Friday 9:30 to 5:30 p.m.
Thursday beyond so your Milton Keynes.
Fortwell Solicitors is regulated by SRA.
Fortwell Solicitors.
You are listening to GN Radio UK.